The next step in the grant proposal writing process is to develop your need statement or problem statement. So this grant worksheet number 3 is going to help you get the information put together so that you can develop a good problem statement. So I did like in the workbook that it said that a good, solid, and well-supported problem statement is the key that unlocks the door, moving a proposal that much closer to funding consideration. It's really, really important that you demonstrate the need for the funder and that you provide supporting evidence. So supporting evidence should be both quantitative and qualitative and be from reputable sources. So statistics are really important. Demonstrating trends over time is good. If there's space, you can use graphs or tables if those really will help get the information across about the problem and really demonstrate how big of a problem it is. You just want to make sure that you avoid making assumptions and undocumented assertions, as well as that circular reasoning that they pointed out on page 37 in that reality check with the example related to the community pool. So make sure you check that out and avoid doing that circular reasoning and those assumptions. So use quantitative data and qualitative type testimonials if you can find some online. I do understand this is hypothetical and you're writing this. So, but fill in as much as you can. And I think you can probably find some testimonials or create some as well. So the worksheet here is what you will need to develop. And I also have the example that you can also access on Moodle. And so this example carries with the meals program that will continue throughout this workbook, but you can use this as a guide to give you some guidance on what to include. However, I do recommend that you include even more statistics and supporting evidence here more than the example provides. One, again, the more you include, the more feedback you are going to get from me. And 2, you will have less to do later. So the problem statement, again, is such a significant part to demonstrating the need, and you got to have that evidence. So if you just use 1 or 2 statistics here, you're probably going to need to look up more later on. And if you remember that 70-30 or 80-20 type rule or whatnot, that you spend 70 to 80% of your time planning and that last 20 to 30% writing and putting it together, this is where you want to spend the time in gathering the information. So make sure you include who is the target population for your program. And it should all be people, since this is public and community health, although there are situations where you might be writing for animals and plants and things like that. So who the target population, who's going to benefit from the program and funding, and then where they are. So again, being specific here, if it's within a community, a specific neighborhood or zip code would be good. In addressing when it is most evident is important, and then what the need is actually, what the need is and why the need occurs. So some of these you can actually probably twist around a little bit and modify and apply your topic to, and that is completely fine. But then again, make sure you are adding in additional ones that are going to be specific to your project. And then what evidence do you have to support the claim? So this is where you really want to have, this should be full in terms of statistics and supporting information, again, from reputable organizations. And you can cite them here. When you go to write your grant, you can say according to the CDC or according to the local United Way, depending on where you get the statistics. So you don't necessarily, because you won't cite and have a reference page generally with a grant, there isn't space for that. So you can just incorporate it and integrate it into the writing of your proposal. But do include the reference here, which would be the organization or author and year for that. And then addressing the impact if the problem is not resolved. So the funder really wants to see, you know, if I don't, the necessity of it, and also you know, what will happen if it's not funded. So if it impact, if its problems is resolved, is really showing them how their money is going to be used and the impact they're going to have. And then definitely at the end here, link it back to your organization. Always go back to the mission and purpose of your organization and how the need is linked to that. Now, another tip, if you're writing a program for, if the issue is much larger than what you're writing your grant for, and you're creating a new program, for example, you can create it as a pilot program or a sort of model program. I guess the wording would be more model, and that it can serve as a model for other organizations or other parts of town once you are able to get that one up and running. So having it demonstrate as a model is a couple other tips are to avoid jargon, really be concise here. That's more when you get to writing it, and I'll provide more tips later on. Being careful not to overpromise, and so really it's the facts here. This is where the facts come in. So when you do go write it, you'll have those qualitative testimonials. If you find anything, you certainly can insert them here as well. So if you have any questions, please let me know, but definitely use these worksheets here. You've got the example and the template here that you will fill in and then upload to your assigned Google folder. All right, thank you.